Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
And we serve as the voice to the Chubal Black community.
Again, we got Dr. Candace Matthews.
A lot of these documents, looking at.
We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media.
This country is supposed to be about the land of the free for all. It has not been free for Black people, and we are tired.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
There's still a lot of people that want to argue whether immigration is affecting Black jobs and that Black jobs are being taken. Well, there's an immigration expert by the name of Roy Beck who wrote a book, Back of the Hiring Line. He said this: economic historians say that every time that immigration has gone to a high percentage, the incomes of Black males have gone down, and that income disparity, racial disparity, increases. Every time you reduce immigration, the livelihoods of Black families and Black men increases. And so he is saying, per my numbers, it just makes sense, right? I don't think you need to be an expert to kind of look at the data and say, okay, the lower immigration is, the better it is for Black Americans. And he says, admittedly, it's true for all Americans, but we know that Black Americans are usually the last ones hired, right? Especially when the labor market is kind of tight. We are the last ones hired. Even if we have a better resume than our counterparts, let's say of white people, they always, seem to, in a lot of cases, get hired first. And so when you bring in immigrants from all over the world, they tend to get the job because a lot of times, depending on what the job is, they might do it for less wages and a whole host of other things, right? So, of course, that affects Black people, especially in a lot of the job sectors that we predominantly work in. Now, of course, we like to hear, we don't like to hear, but the Democrats rather like to go around saying, oh, unemployment for Black people are at an all-time low. Trump has also said it, but right now, Black unemployment is 6.1% to that of white unemployment. That is 3.8%, almost double, right? So, again, if we're talking about equity, right, shouldn't it be fair? Shouldn't we also have a unemployment rate that mirrors that of white people? Well, of course, we know the answer is yes, but it's not the way it's been. It's never been that way. In fact, I would argue that the unemployment rate for Black people has always been higher. So when you hear a lot of people talk about, oh, well, it's low, that's not a flex. It's still high in comparison to everybody else. And so when you bring in immigrants, that makes it worse for Black people. But guess what? Black people continue to vote for the Democrats because they're the ones that do that to our, and I say our, I mean collectively, demise. Now I want to read lastly what Mr. Beck said. At some point, these leaders are going to have to get left behind because the people in the local communities are going to just stop putting up with national leaders who just insist on flooding their communities with workers that aren't needed and with people for whom there isn't enough housing for them. So he's right, because we're seeing Black people in Chicago, New York, and, Colorado, and different places where the immigrants are being flooded into their community and saying, I'm not voting for y'all no more because the last time I voted for y'all, this is what y'all did to us, right? Y'all moved the immigrants in, they getting housing, education, healthcare, money, food, they getting it all. But Black people have just been asking, for stuff too, reparations more specifically, but we get told no. And so he's right. We are seeing Black people wake up and say, no, I'm going to get somebody else to do it. Get the people to do it that are benefiting from that. And he also said, while there are a lot of Hispanics that come over here illegally, he says the Hispanics that are here, or, they don't cut for all that illegal immigration either. They're not happy with it either because in some cases, the unemployment affects them as well. So anyway, y'all tell me what you think of that. And for more insightful commentary, please subscribe to this channel and my channel, the Demetra